Hello students, welcome to the next session of our physics class. This is matter pure. Today we are going to discuss about heterogeneous mixtures, and in that heterogeneous mixtures we will study about what is suspension and what is colloids or colloidal suspensions are. Okay, same, to understand this concept we are going to use the help of solution, definition of a solution. We know that solution is a homogeneous mixture where the components of the solutions are uniformly distributed. That is, the components which are there in the solution are uniformly distributed. Now, here as suspension is a heterogeneous mixture, that means that itself shows that the components of the suspension are not uniformly distributed. Okay, that is what you have to keep in mind. Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture where the compositions or the components in the suspension are not uniformly distributed. Okay, why that? Because the suspension is being a heterogeneous mixture. Now we will discuss about what are the properties of this suspension, and we will go with an example also. Now if you want to discuss when we talk about the properties of the suspension, now in the suspension the components are not uniformly distributed. That is what is the first property. Already we have discussed. Why this is not uniformly distributed, that we are concerned, because suspension is being a heterogeneous mixture where in heterogeneous mixtures the components are not uniformly distributed. That is one property that we have to discuss. We have to remember. And the particles of the suspension will settle at the bottom if they kept undisturbed for some time. That is, in the suspension the components or the particles of the suspension will be settled at the bottom when it is kept undisturbed for some time. Okay, the best example is that take a glass of water and add some chalk piece powder to it. Add some chalk piece powder to this. What is going to happen? The chalk piece particles are going to settle at the bottom if it is kept undisturbed for some time. So this is the example of homogeneous is a suspension, and the particles are visible by the naked eye. Are we able to see the particles of chalk piece with our naked eye? Yes, we are able to see the particles of the suspension with our naked eye. And whenever we are going to switch on a torchlight at this point, if you have a torchlight at this point and if you switch on, we are going to see the particles of this chalk piece, or the particles which are present in the suspension, are going to scatter that light, and we will able to see the beam of light passing through this suspension. Okay, I hope you understood. The best example is just take a glass of water and add some chalk piece powder. If you keep it undisturbed for some time, we notice that the chalk piece particles are going to settle at the bottom. This is the best example for the suspension. That is quite opposite to the solution, where solution the particles are uniformly distributed, where in the suspension the particles are not uniformly distributed and they are going to settle at the bottom. Here, whenever we are talking about the colloidal solutions, colloidals behaves like the intermediate or the solutions and suspensions. That is, colloidals look like solution but behaves like suspensions. Okay, what does it mean? That is, due to the smaller size of the particles of the colloidals, they look like they are uniformly distributed, and we may concern that as homogeneous mixtures, but actually they are heterogeneous because they are not uniform. Due to smaller size they look like homogeneous, but they are not homogeneous. And second property is that they do not settle at the bottom. The particles of that will not be settled at the bottom. Take the best example is milk. If the milk is kept undisturbed for some time, will the particles of the fat and all the particles of the milk will be settled at the bottom, and where we are able to see water on the surface of the milk? That will not happen, because that is what the particles of the colloidal solutions will not settle at the bottom. And whenever we are using the filter paper, it leaves the particles on the filter paper. if you take very good quality of the milk and if you try to filter, the fat content of the milk will be left over, okay, on the filter paper. Now the size of the particles is too small to see with the naked eye. We are able to see the particles with the naked eye, but the size of the particles are very small to see with the naked eye and scatters. Here colloidals also will scatter the beam of light, and if we switch on, if we take a colloidal solution and if we switch on, they will scatter, and the light of the light or the path is also visible. The best example of colloidals are a very big list we have. Among them, a large number of substances are there, such as milk, butter, cheese, cream, any gels, boot polish, shoe polish, clouds also example of the colloidal solutions. We have milk, cheese, butter, so many examples, gels what we use. There are so many examples are there where they are the examples of colloidal solutions. Okay. Now colloidal solutions, as per the concern of same context of the solution, as it has colloidal solutions also solutions have two mediums in it. Solution contains two mediums, that is solvent and solute. In the same way, colloidal solutions also consist of two phases. Colloidals also consist of two phases. Okay, phases of colloidals. The phases of solution or the phases of colloidals have two phases we have for the colloidal solutions. Okay, depending on as it is the nature of the heterogeneous mixtures, we have to use two phases, that is disperse phase and dispersion medium. What it is? Disperse phase and dispersion medium. What does it mean? Disperse phase and disperse, same like solution. Solution contains solvent and solute, where we have, whenever we are using sugar solution, sugar is solvent and water is the solute. In the same way, the colloidal solutions are also having two phases. One is disperse phase and another one is dispersion medium. Okay, disperse phase is a phase which consists of a substance which consists of very small particles and which is going to be dispersed in the dispersion medium, in a particular medium. Okay, dispersion phase is a phase where it is going to the substance in that where it is going to be dispersed in the dispersion medium, and dispersion medium is the phase where it is going to be dispersing all the phases. Okay, understood? I hope you understood. Dispersion phase is the substance that present in a small quantity. Dispersion phase is a medium that present in a small quantity and consists the particles of colloidals. The small substances they have. Disperse phase is a substance which consists of small particles. Consists the particles of colloidals that we call as disperse phase, and the medium which is dispersing this dispersion phase in it is considered as dispersion medium, where it is at the usually the dispersion phase is going to be dispersing the dispersion phase in it, that is the dispersion medium. Okay, Now we will see, depending on the nature, we have different types of dispersion, we have different type of substances based on the dispersion phase and dispersion medium. That is, if the dispersion phase and medium can be solid, liquid, gas, dispersion medium also is the same. If it is solid and if it is liquid, how it will be? We have a table, different types of colloidals and their examples, and the dispersion medium and dispersion phase that we have an example. See, if the dispersion, go to page number 89, consists of a table where depending on the type of the dispersion medium and dispersion phase, the colloidal type, and we have an example is, I hope you understood that is dispersion medium is the medium in which colloidal particles are dispersed. Phase, dispersion phase is the phase where it consists of the particles of the colloidal solutions, and dispersion medium is the medium where the dispersion phase is dispersed. Okay, and dispersion medium, dispersion phase can be gas, liquid and solid. Dispersion medium also can be of solid, liquid and gas. Depending on the nature, depending on the physical status of this dispersion phase and dispersion medium, we have a large examples of the colloidal solutions. For example, if the dispersion medium is a gas and dispersed phase is a liquid. Okay, if the dispersion medium is a gas, if the medium is a gas and dispersion phase is a liquid, if the dispersion phase is a liquid, that we call as aerosol. The name of that is called as aerosol. Okay, we have the example fungus, clouds and mist. Fungus, clouds and mist is the best example of the colloidals where the dispersion phase is gas and dispersion medium is gas and dispersion phase is liquid. Generally we will see in winter season the fungus is going to form, small type of mist is going to form in the morning, because in the total air the small water droplet particles are dispersed here and there. Okay, that is, air is considered as dispersion medium, the gas form, and the water droplets is considered as Look at the table number 2 in page number 89. Depending on the type of the dispersion medium and dispersion phase, the type of the colloidal solutions are being given, and it is specified, or it is giving the information about the examples of those type of colloidals as well. Okay, yesterday we have discussed about colloidals and all. Now the continuation of that is, suppose if the dispersion medium is a gas and dispersion phase is a liquid, dispersion medium is a gas and dispersion phase is a liquid, that type of colloidals we are calling as aerosols. Fog, clouds and mist are the best examples of that. Okay, that means in a gas, liquid particles are going to be dispersed. In the gas medium, the liquid particles are going to be dispersed. It is going to be called as aerosols, that is colloidal type, and the best example for that one is fog and clouds and mists. Okay, now for example, if you take dispersion medium as liquid and dispersion phase as liquid, for example, that both are dispersion medium and dispersion phase, both are liquids. If they are liquids, that type of colloidals we call as emulsions. The best example is milk and face creams. Okay, now for example, if the dispersion medium is solid and dispersion phase is liquid, dispersion medium is solid and dispersion phase is liquid, those type of colloidals are called as gel, and jelly, cheese, butter are the best examples for those type of colloidals. Of course, just go through that table in which is mentioned in page number 89, table 2. Just have a glance and idea about that. Of course, there is no need of by hiding the information. Just try to understand and just remember, just have a glance idea about the different dispersion phases and different dispersion mediums, and what are the types of colloidals based on the change in the dispersion phase and dispersion medium, and have a glance look at the examples as well. And here in page number 90 we have one more table, that is table 3, which are going to specify the properties of suspension and colloidal solutions. Okay, already the part substances are all these properties already we have discussed in the video. Just have a glance look at about this information in the table, so that you will get more command over the difference between the suspensions and colloidals, and I will send the respective notes through the WhatsApp. As we have discussed that there is a huge list of examples of the colloidals, from sky, clouds, cream, butter, milk, these all are considered as colloidals. Now, is ice cream is a colloidal is the statement which is given. Okay, now how the ice cream is made, let's see, then afterwards we'll come to a conclusion for this question. Okay, ice cream is made by churning a mixture of milk, sugar and flavors. Okay, by churning process, churning the milk, sugar and flavors, the ice cream is made. This mixture is slowly chilled to form ice cream. After churning, the mixture is slowly chilled to form the ice cream. The churning process disperses the air bubbles into the mixture by forming and break up the large ice crystals into tiny particles. Okay, by churning process is going to disperse the bubbles into the mixture by forming and break up the large ice crystals into tiny particles. The churning will break up the large ice particles and forms the bubbles, air bubbles. Okay, the result is a complex. By this process, the result is a complex substance which contains the after churning. The resulted substance is a complex one which contains solids, that is solids as milk fats and milk proteins. It contains that mix. After churning the mixture, whatever is obtained, it contains some solid particles, that is milk fat and milk proteins, and some liquid contents also, that is liquids, that is water, and gas particles also, that is air bubbles. That from this what we can conclude is the complex substance what is obtained after churning in order to prepare the ice cream consists of solids, that is milk fat and proteins, consist of liquid, that is water, and consist of gas, that is air bubbles, and the resultant ice cream is considered as colloidal solutions or colloidal. The next topic is Tyndall effect. What is this Tyndall effect? Is the scattering of a beam of light in all directions is called Tyndall effect. What does it mean? And what does it mean by scattering? Okay. For example, whenever we are standing in the assembly in the school, all of suddenly it started raining heavily. Okay, what we will do, we will run to our classes, all the classes will run towards our classes without following any line. Okay, we'll run as we want to run. Okay, to reach to the safe region, it is will scatter, all the students will scatter to their respective classrooms. Okay, that is spreading in all directions. If we have this particle, if it is spreading in all directions, is considered as scattering, and if the light is scattered, that is going to give the Tyndall effect. Okay, now where do we see this Tyndall effect? Most of the time, whenever if we enter into a forest and if we observe the top of the trees, we will able to see this Tyndall effect. Not only in the forest region, we can experience this Tyndall effect in our house also. Okay, and suppose you might have observed that, okay, in any day, if a small gap is there in between our door, and if the sunlight is going to enter from that small gap, small slit what we have, okay, the light which is entering into the room will be scattered on the particles nearby that slit or hole, will disperse the light and will form this Tyndall effect. We'll see the dispersion of light, okay. Or in the night, if you switch on the torchlight, we are able to see the path of light is being scattered on the dust particles nearby. That is also considered as the Tyndall effect. Or when we switch on the headlight of a car or a bike in the night, the path of the light is visible at the headlight due to the scattering of light on the particles nearby the headlight. That is also considered as headlight. Or when we go for watching the movie in cinema theaters, if you turn back and look behind of you, from the projection room, the light is projected on the screen, okay, the nearby the projection, and we are able to see the beam of light passing from the projection room towards the screen. That at the projection room, the light is scattered on the dust particles, where it is going to give the effect of Tyndall effect. This is also one of the best example to understand the Tyndall effect. That is scattering of the light in all directions by the spreading in all direction by scattering it on the dust particles available in the air. I hope you understood. If the substances of the if the particles of the colloidals are not able to separate by the process of filtration, or if any other mean, we use a special method of separating the particles from the colloidals is centrifugation. See, what is a centrifugation? A centrifugation is a technique which is used to separate the substances or the particles of a colloidal solution. Okay. Now, what is the process actually which is made in the centrifugation process? Churning makes the lighter components to come up to the surface of the substance when the mixture of the liquid is spun rapidly. Okay, churning is a process where we will use churning is a process where the particles, the lighter particles of the substance is going to come at the surface of the mixture. Okay, when it is spun rapidly, when we are going to mix it very rapidly and continuously, the lighter particles are going to come at the top, and to separate the cream from the milk, we use this churning process, centrifugation process. A machine called centrifuge is used. With the help of the machine centrifuge, we are going to use in centrifugation process. Wherever the components which are not able to separate with the filtration process, we use the process of centrifugation, where we use a machine called centrifuge. Here, with this machine, the substance, the colloidal solutions will be churned, or churning process will be done with the help of centrifuge, where the lighter particles of the solutions is going to come at the top, where we can be separated easily from that colloidal solution. Generally, we use this centrifugation process in order to collect the ice cream, in order to collect the cream from the milk. Not only that, why this we are going to use to collect cream from milk, we use the process of centrifugation. Next, in the diagnostic center also, okay, centrifugation is also used in diagnostic laboratories to test the blood and urine samples. The sample is taken into a centrifugation tube, and the centrifugation tube is placed in centrifugal machine, and rotation of the tube with the machine, the higher particles settle down at the bottom and the lighter particles comes up of the test tube. Okay, the centrifugation in the same way in the diagnostic centers also, in order to test the samples of blood and urine, the centrifugation technique will be used. The blood samples is taken in the test tube and they will keep the centrifuge machine and they will be rotated with high speed, where the higher particles will be settled down in the test tube and the lighter particles will be collected on the top of the test tube, where it is going to be taken for the diagnosis. Okay. Simple centrifugation is a technique in order to separate the substances of the colloidal solutions, where if they are not able to separate from by using the process of filtration. Okay, keep in mind centrifugation is one of the important topic